Hey, what's up you guys? It's Jaded, and today I'm going to be going over Magic Find. There's a lot of confusion, I feel like, around this topic, and I found this great thread over on Diablo fans. It's up to date for 105, and they seem to be updating it quite often. And the thread is huge. It's like super long. There's tons of graphs and bar graphs and line graphs and charts and you know, all this data that they've collected for really figuring out what Magic Find does. And so you guys can go check this out if you want. I'm just going to be going over sort of a too long didn't read. There's a great like summary section that they have here, and I'm just going to hit those points. So the first thing here is Magic Find increases the class, item color, or rarity of the gear found. So it'll give you a higher chance of getting a legendary, a higher chance of getting a rare, rather than, you know, a magic item. I think everyone sort of knew that and understood that about Magic Find, but the next thing is more interesting, which is the fact that it increases the number of possible affixes on items because this is directly related to that. So it sort of goes through like this rolling method of, okay, is it a legendary? No, it misses that roll, then it goes on to the next thing. Magic Find does not increase the number of items found, so it's not affecting any quantity here. And also, it doesn't increase the item level of gear found. Something else they found is that the guaranteed rare drop you get from having 5 stacks of Nephilim, it is possible for that to be a legendary instead of a rare, and the guaranteed drop from Neph stacks is also applied to goblins. Now, what they found when it comes to increasing the number of possible affixes is that it's very minimal and close to negligible for standard elite drops. But when it comes to the NV stack, you know, the extra item you get from having 5 NV stacks, it appears to have a very prominent effect there. Now the next bullet point is not very case closed, but they say that whether or not Magic Find affects the affix rolls themselves, so not how many you get, but how good the rolls are, they haven't investigated it, but there's no reason to suspect that because of how it works with 105. So as you guys know, in 105 they changed it so that the rolls are based on the monster level. So because of that, it's based on, you know, what you're killing, not your Magic Find in that specific instance. Now the final 2 bullet points, I'm going to kind of lump these together, but basically what's being said here is elite packs, they have sort of these item slots, these gear slots, and they have 4 of them, and then if you have 5 NV stacks, it's going to drop an additional 5th. And what they've noticed with these slots is they have different base chances to roll out different item rarities. So for example, they've noticed gear slot 1 and 4 seem to be identical and have a base drop chance of around 10% or so for rare items. And then gear slot 2 and 3 seem to be related because of how small a chance they have to roll out rares. But with gear slot 3, there's also a 50% chance that nothing's going to drop at all. And then finally with the 5th slot that you get from the NV stacks, they've noticed there's always at least 4 affixes on that rare item. So in conclusion, what we could pull from all of this and sort of the too long didn't read of the too long didn't read is that Magic Find, it's not affecting how good the items are that you get. So it's not affecting, you know, say on your bracers, they rolled 80 strength. It's not affecting whether that rolled 150 strength. Now, when it comes to legendaries, all it really does is increases the chance that you'll get a legendary. There's 0 effect on how good that legendary is. And because of that, it's not as important as one might think. Because it's only affecting the affix chance on your rares. And rares nowadays, you know, they can be very good, don't get me wrong. But a lot of them, we don't even pick up anymore. You know, jewelry, of course, you want that to have 6 affixes, but the way it sort of checks for that, and the way it's shown over on the official site where they have the game guide, is that the item quality is checked in the following order. So it goes legendary, then 6 affix, then 5, then 4, then goes all the way down to magic item. And for example, if a monster has 4% chance to drop 6 affix and you have 50% Magic Find, well, now it has a 6% chance to drop that item. And so it kind of goes through that chain, and if your roll misses like the legendary, then it goes down to 6 affix and so on. And your Magic Find is applied to each of those rolls. So some very interesting stuff here, and you know, I recommend going and checking out the thread if you want to see the graphs, the charts, all the data. There's a ton of stuff to soak up. and a ton of testing and data. You know, if you're a math nerd, there's even people replying to it. Maybe you can get involved in that. But this is pretty much what we know now and understand now. There's no reason to suspect otherwise. So I just wanted to clear that up, and hopefully you guys learned something about Magic Find. But that's going to do it from me, so I will see you guys again very soon.